what are the couple of books that you recommend, that you found absolutely inspirational, reading them and getting them into your DNA after you've kind of read them?
I'll give two right now. One of them is a book titled The Journey of the Mind: How Thinking Evolved from Chaos, which is a book
Mm.
that I have wanted to see for about a decade. Um, I felt like there's a story that no one was telling about the big picture of cognition, and of feeling and of all of that. And this book, oh my gosh, gets it. And it's such an insanely well written book. It is the most, it may literally be the most Egan-ish written book that uses more of Egan's tools in a sensible way, stories and diagrams and humor and metaphors, to simply explain something that no one has ever held in their head before, I think. And it's by two authors. And one of them, Sai Gaddam, is Mumbai based, as you are. I would be delighted to put the two of you into conversation with one another if you'd be
Sure.
interested in that. Um,
Cool. Interesting.
so I recommend that book so highly. And then the other one that I do is by a American psychologist, psychological researcher who has, since this book, become very famous, named Jonathan Haidt. Have you heard of him
Mhm.
before?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
His new book, The Anxious Generation, is like what everybody is talking about in the States. His previous book, The Righteous Mind: Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion, is a tour de force. But the book of his that I fell in love with, and the one that I think is really his best one, is one that nobody talks about anymore, which is The Happiness Hypothesis: Finding Modern Truth in Ancient Wisdom. And it
Mhm.
takes, he started as a positive psychology researcher, looking at like what does it take to live a good life. This is one of the books that I read with high schoolers and college students, back when I did those classes. And it takes about a dozen of the biggest, most clear, most well sourced, well researched insights, controversial insights into what it means to live well. Um, and then he examines those, from the perspective of an idea from some ancient wisdom tradition. So Buddhism gets one, Hinduism gets one, Christianity gets one, Judaism gets one. I think Confucianism gets one, Nietzsche gets one, Schopenhauer gets one, I think. And Plato gets, Socrates gets one. And if I'm remembering that correctly. And it's the sort of book that teaches you so much about world religious and wisdom traditions, and teaches you so much about psychology, and teaches you so much about how to live. So I'll say those two.